How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great weekend. And over the weekend, Kabam released the Onslaught deep dive. And man, I just gotta say a couple of things. Pretty sure this is the next meta champion, the one that cleans the slate and introduces new problems and solves most of the old problems you had with defenders, and like I said, creates new ones. Yeah, I have a whole list of things here. So if I do miss something, I apologize, but I'm just going to let this play in the background so you can kind of see what he's doing while I read off this list of stuff he does. Just talk about it and end it with some interesting insight, I guess. So first, the first light and medium and heavy make no contact with the opponent. So that just basically counters any of your like Thorns champions, right? Your Korgs, your Chumas. He also is bleed, incinerate, and shock resistant by 150%. So if you get a bleed, incinerate, or shock debuff, this allows you to retain the debuff, but gain willpower from it, but take no damage. His debuffs gain increased ability actually against skill champions. That just means that he is a Mantis counter. He can counter Mantis, and there's some other things that can do, but it's, in my opinion, it was mostly a Mantis counter. Passive stun, if the stun is purified off your parry, so much like Storm and Bishop, so that's nasty. New debuff, he has a Daunted debuff, which increases special attack damage and disables willpower, and that can stack up to, I think, what was it, 8? Was it 8 times? I don't remember. There's just too much stuff. Inflict neuroshocks. So inflicting neuroshocks when attacked or attacking has a 15% chance. It increases with critical hits and against skill champions. So your Ghosts, your Stark-in-Hand Spider-Mans are going to have a rough time. Your Korgs are going to have a rough time. Your Shuris. Everyone who's supposed to be able to counter this guy is going to have a rough time. And even if you don't, let me pause for a second. Even if you don't crit, or you're not a skill champion, you're still taking neuroshocks, and his abilities can activate through block. So if you're not dexing, these are going to be converted into some nasty degen debuffs, passive debuffs, and you're just going to take damage no matter what. So that is really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because there's no neuroshock immune champions right now. So yeah, these neuroshocks prevent miss. They can be removed by dashing back, but if you're a metal champion, it can't be removed. If suffering from shock, plasma, incinerate, or cold snap, then he's going to inflict a neuroshock. So, yeah, there's another new debuff called Organic Magnetism, which reduces the ability accuracy and combat power rate of the opponent. If it fails to apply for any reason associated with ability accuracy, it is passively applied, and it allows the special 1 to cost 33% less power when applied to the opponent. His special 2 reverses controls and converts neuroshocks to degen, and his special 3 costs less, stuns the opponent, and costs less power based on how many neuroshocks the opponent has. So that was a lot of information. I know it was a whole lot, but basically that just means, just to recap, disabling willpower, putting on neuroshocks. Tech champions can't really counter this guy. Really, no one can counter the neuroshocks. I'm trying to think. I don't think anyone can counter it fully. You're going to take damage from this guy. I think maybe someone with high energy resistance might be able to be okay. Maybe like a Gladiator Hulk might be able to heal from it. I have no idea. I'm going to have to check on that. I mean, I'm kind of desperate trying to find answers for this guy if I'm talking about Gladiator Hulk. But, that's just the first thing that came to mind. Bleed, Incinerate, Shock, basically immune. Passive stun of Purified, non-contact hits. So basically what I'm trying to say is he is one of those champions that releases every once in a while that kind of just cleans the slate in the contest, where he just, once you have him, he counters all the previous problems. He can't really be countered by any of the current champions. I mean, maybe someone will find something. I really just can't think of anything right now. Maybe there's some really niche champion that I don't know. There's over 250 champions now or something like that. But yeah, so he can't really be countered right now with any of the meta champions, I guess I could say. Uh, and yeah, he ignores Korgs, Atumas, ignores Miss. Um, yeah, yeah. So he's a pretty scary guy. Now the only hope we have of it not being completely toxic and broken, which I don't think is going to be the case, is if his attack stats aren't that high, so that all this neuroshock damage. Sorry, baby. So all this neuroshock damage doesn't do crazy amounts of damage. But here's the point I wanted to make, and I was thinking about this, right? If you're Valiant, you're going to have this guy immediately as a 6-star. All your Valiant players, unless they're free to play, if he's a meta champion, are just going to have him right away because a Valiant offer guarantees a 6-star, and 6-star Awakening gems are easier to get than ever. So your Valiant players are going to have this guy at 6-star and immediately 6-star rank 5 ascended, making it even harder for you to essentially keep up in that sense, unless you got lucky with the Paragon offers and got a 6-star, maybe a 7-star version if you're lucky. But you're not guaranteed the 6-star. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of a huge point I want to make. If this guy is meta, and he looks like he's gonna be the next meta champion, your top end players who spend money are going to have him right away. And they're gonna have a chance to get him right away. So if you're Valiant, that's great news, like myself. But if you're not, you can still gamble with those pre-release offers, but there's no guarantee value there. Yeah, but that also kind of begs the question: how much longer are 6-stars going to be effective? These are all questions that shouldn't be answered in this video. I'm just kind of rambling off my thoughts about this whole champion. This champion's that good where I'm kind of questioning, like, deals and that kind of stuff. Like, this champion is really, really good on paper. Now, that being said, he might come out and be a dud. I don't see that happening, but he could, I guess, come out and be a dud. Again, I think we're gonna have to wait to see those attack stats and the health pool. He obviously looks like a chunky boy. He's got the crab shell on, and he looks tanky. But I think our only saving grace would be his attack stat. If his attack stat is low, you might be able to survive fights without too much damage and maybe still beat him in Battlegrounds. But this might be the next auto ban champion right there with Maestro. So yeah, that's really it. Those are my thoughts on the guy, I guess. I hope you enjoy this kind of video where I just kind of talk about it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the champion. If you're scared of the champion, if you're going to grab him, are you Valiant? Are you Paragon? What are your plans for this champion, man? And what do you think? So yeah, just let me know in the comments below. And as always, y'all take care.